Guys, I know it's been a rough week, but the weekend ended pretty nicely with the Bengals beating the Steelers. The Jets have locked in a top 2 pick, but there is way more than just that. Here's why I'm excited for this week's slate of games. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, I will be live tonight, Tuesday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock with Matt O'Leary and Green Bean. We're going to be asking all our Jet-related questions, talking about the number 2 pick, talking about, the Jags and everything going on with the potential quarterback search, trades, and all that sort of fun stuff. So make sure you tune into that tonight, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. But let's jump on to today's video, and we are talking about this last week's slate of games. There's no secret that I was very upset with how this weekend ended. I very much wanted Trevor Lawrence and getting that number 1 overall pick, and the Jets winning, sort of throws a wrench into this whole equation. But we got a little bit of excitement and things to look forward to for this upcoming weekend. So obviously, first and foremost, the Jaguars are playing the Bears. And we need Mitch Trubisky to have the most Mitch Trubisky game he could possibly have. And we are all Gardner Minshew fans from here on out. We need the Jaguars to win. The Jets do not own the tiebreaker over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Their strength of schedule is weaker than ours, meaning they have lost to weaker opponents, meaning they are the worst team when we are both tied. So first and foremost, we want the Jags to beat the Bears. This is something that could happen. You saw, Sam play inspired this past weekend because there was talks of Trevor Lawrence coming to town and Sam getting the boot or getting traded or whatever. Well, Gardner Minshew's feeling those same exact things. He's going to get fired up. This is his team. He just came back into the starting lineup, and everyone down in Jacksonville is talking about Trevor Lawrence. So he's going to be super hyped up. This is going to be the first and foremost game that I'm paying attention to this upcoming weekend. But there's more than just that. And last night's victory for the Bengals over the Steelers was huge for the Jets. And I don't think there's enough people talking about just how big this is. Yes, it locks in a top 2 pick, but that's not exactly what I'm talking about here. Let's say the most probable thing happens. The Jags lose out these next 2 games. The Jets, lose out or win out, whatever. We wind up with the 2nd overall pick. That could be huge because the Jets can control the draft from there on out, which is kind of nice. Not to mention if we tie with the Jags, we actually still own, the way a tiebreaker works, or not a tiebreaker, but if 2 teams tie, like the Jets still own the 33rd pick in the draft. They wouldn't be picking behind Jacksonville, even though Jacksonville has the first pick in the first round. They actually rotate every other round. So then the Jets would pick 2nd in the 3rd round, 1st in the 4th round, and so on and so forth. But so the Jets would basically control this draft because of this Bengals win. Potentially. These next 2 weeks are going to be huge, specifically this upcoming week. The Bengals' remaining schedule, well, let's look at the tankathon leaderboard. Let's kind of feel this out here. Right now, the Jets and Jags are 1 and 2. You got the Bengals sitting at 3 with Carolina, Atlanta, and Miami all behind them. And when you look at the Bengals' remaining schedule, they have the Texans and the Ravens on the docket. Now, more than likely, they're not beating the Ravens, but the Texans are sitting currently at the 6th slot. Now, Miami owns that pick, but they've been a very, very underwhelming team this year. So there's a chance that the Bengals could beat the Texans in this upcoming game. It's not likely, but if you thought there wasn't going to be a shot for them to beat the Steelers, I think if they could beat the Steelers and the Jets could beat the Rams, they could beat Houston. Now, if they beat Houston, there are some huge, huge ramifications from this for the New York Jets. And this is going to be a few things we can talk about because the Jets sitting at 2, there's going to be a lot of talk of the Jets taking Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Penei Sewell, one of those guys, and keeping Sam Darnold if you decide not to go with the quarterback. But if the Bengals win, and then you look at the Panthers and Falcons, if both teams could, in theory, go for a quarterback and want to trade up for a quarterback, or could at least be taking someone other than Penei Sewell. So if you're a big Penei Sewell guy, chances are he's not making it past the Bengals. The way Joe Burrow went down with the ACL injury, they are going to want to protect him as much as possible, and Sewell is considered like a Quentin Nelson good. Like, that's how good this guy's supposed to be. So if you look at the remaining schedule for the Panthers are playing the Washington football team and the Saints. I could easily see them both lose. The Falcons are playing the Chiefs and the Bucs. The Chiefs are still holding on to that number 1 seed, but they need to win this week to lock in the first round bye. So they're gonna be playing their hearts out. So there's a real shot the Panthers and Falcons both go 0-2 these last 2 weeks, or at least, yeah, there's a shot they both go 0-2, and there's a shot that the Bengals could beat the Texans. If the Bengals beat the Texans, now all of a sudden Cincinnati slides down from 3 all the way down to 4 or 5, depending on what happens with the Panthers and Falcons. This is huge because if you are in the camp of holding on to Sam Darnold, then a trade down looks so enticing at this point, because if you're not sold on Fields or Wilson and you want to roll with Sam, you're looking at probably taking Penei Sewell. That's the guy that I think a lot of people are looking at if we don't go quarterback. Well, if you trade down with Carolina 1 pick or Atlanta 1 pick, and one of those teams are jockeying to try and get the quarterback they want for their future, the Jets can slide down a pick or two, because I don't think either one of these teams is going to be taking Penei Sewell. As long as we wind up ahead of the Bengals, we could still come down, maybe pick up a first next year, or maybe an additional second, or just some extra draft assets, some players to help this team out, and still take Penei Sewell. This is huge. This has me really, really excited, because this, as much of a kick in the dick as losing Trevor Lawrence is to the meth kittens, I think there is a real shot for us to have a little bit of a silver lining in this, because you know what? Trevor Lawrence is an ACL tear away from something going fucking sideways. So you never know what's going to happen. I'm trying to find the positives in this. But this is exciting to me. I'm going to be a Jags fan this week. I'm going to be a Bengals fan this week. And I'm going to be rooting against the Panthers and Falcons. This is what we should be looking forward to, Jet fans. Don't always hang your head down. I know it's been a rough last few days for us. Guys, I want to wish you from the bottom of my heart a very Merry Christmas. If I don't make another video before Christmas, I think I'm going to, but if I don't, please have a very Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and thank you so much for supporting the channel and keeping me sane through these last 3 years, I guess. We're almost coming up on 3 years, so thank you so much. It means a lot to me that you guys have been here for the ride. But let me know what you guys think of that down below in the comments. Are you guys excited about potentially trading out of the number 2 pick? Do you want to keep the number 2 pick? Do you want to draft the quarterback? Do you want to draft Sewell? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, go Jets.